Shalom, shalom. We're back with another video. So before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechah Kwadash, to the apostles and elder bishop of Great Millstone who rule well. I'd like to give double honor. Shalom to the 144,000, to the 1/3, to the hopeful elect. Shalom. We're here with a lesson I'm going to call They Got Tired of It. And we got two articles here from the Law and Crime. One posted a day ago, the other posted 3 days ago. So we're gonna start with this one that was 3 days ago. It's the article, remember, from the Law and Crime by Jamie Farrell 3 days ago. Just tired of it. Man blew wife away with shotgun because she pushed him to the limit, police say. And it starts with Jason Joe Phillips, 46, was charged with first-degree murder after he allegedly shot his wife, 46-year-old Joanne Lynn Phillips, to death in their home in the morning hours of Saturday, according to a news release from the Kanawha County Sheriff Office. Jason Phillips called 911 himself to report he shot his wife in their kitchen. Local NBC affiliate WSAZ obtained a 911 call in which the dispatcher relayed the message that he was just fighting with her and was just tired of it. And we all know here in Babylon how a lot of these women can push a man to a point to where he just snaps. Let's see. A criminal complaint obtained by the WSAZ stated that Jason Phillips allegedly shot Joanne Phillips once in the chest with a shotgun. Police responded to the couple home and set on Sissonville, West Virginia, after Jason Phillips called 911 just before 3 a.m. When deputies arrived at the home, Jason Phillips told them that his wife had pushed him to the limit before he allegedly gunned her down. So no telling what this woman been doing to this man to get him to the point to where he just had enough. Let's see. This is gonna be the last paragraph in here. WAZ reported that Jason Phillips had 2 previous charges of domestic abuse-related incident prior to Saturday's alleged shooting. So it was already leading to this. Neither one wanted to leave, so this was just gonna happen, man. In December 2021, police responded to the couple's home after Joanne Phillips told officers that Jason held a gun to her head and stuck it in her mouth and stuck her in the mouth with it. He also threatened to kill her. Jason Phillips charged with domestic assault, domestic battery, and brandishing, but those charges were dismissed with prejudice in March 2022, Salaki. So he had already come to a point where he was about to blow her brains out. You would think at one point either him or her would just leave, because I'm not going to let you drag me to jail for the rest of my life for some BS. I'd just rather leave you. That's the case. But he didn't, so end result, she blown away with a shotgun. I can only imagine how messy that was. And the next one we're going to get is this from the Law and Crime as well. I begged him, don't shoot me. Man murdered wife for telling him to turn off Monday Night Football. Then turned the gun to the stepdaughter, cops say. So they both getting on his nerve. By David Harris a day ago. Authorities in Florida are investigating a murder-suicide and the shooting of a 13-year-old girl after arguments start with the suspect wife asking him to turn off Monday Night Football game, cops say. Now, come on now, let's be honest. She didn't ask this man to turn off no football game for him to turn a gun on her and her daughter. But hey, let's see what happens. According to Polk County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded just before 11 p.m. on Monday to report of a shooting on Lemon Avenue in Lakeland. 12-year-old boy ran to his neighbor's house asking for help because his mother, Crystal Kenny, and stepfather, 47-year-old Jason Kenny, were fighting. And as he was running in the neighbor's house, he heard a gunshot. Deputy rushed to the home where they found Crystal Kenny dead and the 13-year-old daughter suffering gunshot wounds to the face and shoulder. There's also a 1-year-old girl who was unharmed. Of course, that baby ain't do nothing to him. Obviously, the woman and her daughter had worked the man last nerve. And Crystal Kenny was pronounced dead while the 13-year-old girl was in critical stable condition in the hospital. Let's see if they say anything about what made it go down. Let's see. An investigation revealed that the suspect became enraged at his wife when she suggested changing the channel towards an end at Monday Night Football game. He pulled out the gun and shot her in the head, Jude said. And like I said, it wasn't no asking. You could tell this was something just built up. And with how these women are so entitled here in Babylon, that all the thing that happened, that man probably closed his eyes and like, man, this is the last effing time. And that spirit jumped on him. Spirit of vengeance jumped on him. We seen what happened. He laid his wife to rest and damn near killed his stepdaughter. But a lot of people don't know that in these last days, the one who they call JC, Yahweh Shai, said he's going to bring division within family. And that's what this is. We're starting to see division where family members are attacking family members. Like it said, in what's that, Ephesians 5:15? Walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, because the days are evil. We're living in evil times. We're living in times to where the love of many had waxed cold. And for some people, they caused that waxing to happen even faster, is what I meant. So in these situations, you see these two men over multiple instances to where that love had waxed cold to the point that where now they're ready to just put people to death. And one man even himself. So we're going to get into these scriptures. We're going to start here. First in Luke, then we're going to go to Matthew. Suppose ye think that I come to give peace on the earth. Question mark. Yeah, we know this is Yahweh Shai speaking. I tell you, nay, but rather division. Yeah, he's coming to bring division upon this place. That's why you see in family against family. You see in husbands against wives, wives against their children, husband against their children. It's the time of the end where the world is about to be brought up under a new leadership. But for that to happen, great war, great infighting, great death must come about as well. So Yahweh Shai said, don't think I'm coming to bring y'all together. No, I came to bring division. Was going to lead us to Matthew's that 10:35. For I come to set a man at variance against his father. And before we go any further, we're going to get that word variance. Or that Matthew 10:35. Because we're seeing in these two articles where this man was at variance against his family. Where we see them arguing, which led to situations where both men killed their wives and one ended up taking a gun to himself. Let's see. So like we're seeing the division between not just friends but also family. Let's see. Here we go. Strong's G 1396.
Strong's G 1369. Dechadzo.
So like 1369. To cut in two. to cut into part, to cleave asunder, to sever, to make apart, i.e., asunder, figuratively, to alienate, to set at variance. So we're seeing Yahweh Ba'ashem and Shai putting the spirit on not just these nations, but families as well to come against each other. He's severing that family bond, that love that usually probably would have kept those men from putting their wives to death. So back in Matthew 10 and 35, for I have come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's foes shall be they of his own household. And that's the point. These two men came against their own household. One against his wife, the other against his wife and his stepdaughter. And like I said, and it's just not the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai, but in these situations, you see where stuff more than likely built up. For one man who killed his wife, he had already pulled a gun on her in 2021 and told her he would kill her. So 4 years later, he made good on that promise. Seeing that we live in the evil time, man, you got to take people's word for what they say, because it's no longer a threat. They're telling you what they're going to do. And like I said, with these two women, no telling what they were doing to these men to put them in a situation to where it became enough, where it just broke them, and they were like, fuck it, I'd just rather get rid of you than have to deal with you. And that's what happened, man. These quarrelsome women, especially here in Babylon, because they give them power over the men, a lot of them love to push that man button, push them to that point. Oh, nigga, you ain't gonna do shit. You ain't gonna do this, because they had the police back. But guess what? The police got to get there. Then situation like this arrive, and everybody crying, talking about how good of a person they was. Yeah, to you. But how good were they to that man they love? Obviously not too good, because they both end up putting to death. That's why we're going to go here. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Yeah. Now, if one guy had already pulled the gun out on his wife, at some point he should have been like, man, you know what? If I got to do this, I can't be here no more. If you already pushed me to the point to pull that weapon out, to pull that tool out, and threaten you with it, and hit you across the mouth with it, it's time for one of us to go. That's why the scripture warns, hey man, it's just better to dwell in the corner of a housetop. You better living it on top of your roof in the corner than with this woman, with a brawl and quarrelsome woman. Because it just isn't gonna lead to anything good. And as we've seen, for these two men, it didn't lead to anything good. One had to put himself to death, the other going to jail for the rest of their life. And we're gonna get it in the AMP. It is better to live in the corner of the housetop on a flat roof, exposed to the weather. So this scripture saying, man, better to just live on top of the roof in the weather. Rain, sleet, snow, it doesn't matter. It's just better to be up there than be with this woman. Then in a house shared with a quarrelsome, contentious woman. Yeah. Why? Because it never stops. That's why the other guy say he just got tired of it. And obviously the guy who was told to turn off the football game was in the same kind of situation. It got to the point where they was tired of dealing with these women. I mean, it pushed them to the point that where they had to kill them. So you know that quarrelsome woman, that contentious woman, put them in a mental state to where they didn't even want to deal no more, and they just rather blow them away than have to lay next to them. Because they quarrelsome, it's a non-stop fight. It's continual every day. You might get a day or two where it's relaxed, but then it's back to it. But the scripture also warned against that. Proverbs 27:15-16. A continual dropping in a very rainy day in a contentious woman or a light. Why? Because it just don't stop. If it's raining, guess what? That drop, you're going to always hear that little drop. Doot, doot, doot. With a quarrelsome woman, she's going to always nag you. Doot, doot, doot. That's why they're very much alike. It's just constant on your mind. Aggravate. You got to fight. You got to deal with it. That's why the scripture said before, it's just better to live in the corner of the rooftop than with that quarrelsome woman. Verse 16, whosoever hideth her hideth the wind, and the ornament of his right hand, which bewelleth itself. Yeah, you can't hide the wind. Neither can you hide that fury that she goes through. We're going to get this also in the AMP. All right. Proverbs 27:15-16. A constant dripping on a day of steady rain and a contentious, quarrelsome woman are alike. And we just read the same thing. They're alike, man. It's just not going to stop. That's why it's just better to live on top of the roof. Verse 16. Whosoever attempt to restrain her criticism might as well try to stop the wind and grasp all in his right hand. Because you're not going to be able to restrain her, man. And that's why the other men say, hey, I just got tired of it. And I'm pretty sure the guy who blew away from the Monday Night Football was tired of it. Because them quarrelsome women would lead you to that point. The disrespect, the constant nagging, the sheer headache that they bring. It get to a point where it'll push a man to do those things. But we also know the scriptures are warned the same thing about that women would cause that kind of situation, that they cause men to fall in all different kind of situations. Go here. 1 Ezra 4:26-27. Some men are driven out of their minds in the GNT, Salakia. 1 Ezra 4:26-27 in the GNT. Some men are driven out of their mind on the accounts of women, Salakia. And others become slaves for the sake of women. See, these two men were driven out of their mind. They was tired of it. It was over with. They just wanted it to stop. They wanted that quarrelsome, contentious woman to just stop. So how do they do that? By ultimately bringing death to those women. Verse 27, others have been put to death, have ruined their lives, and have committed crimes because of a woman. And that's what happened. Both these men ruined their lives and committed that crime by putting her to death. Dealing with them quarrelsome women. Even one with his stepdaughter. That constant nagging, man, becomes a thing. But here's if they not gonna follow your rule, man, it's just best to leave. It's just best to get away from them than to be put in this situation to where you got to bring death on them in this society for that kind of BS. I just rather leave and get away from it. Look, you know what? You got it. I'm gonna sign these divorce papers. We'll just go on by that way because it's obvious that you're not gonna listen. It's obvious that we just not made for each other anymore, or whatever we had that brought us together. That bond no longer is there. I just go this way, you just go that way. Then to be driven insane to ruin your life, to commit crime for this contentious and quarrelsome woman, man. It's just best to just leave, to go, to get away from it. Which we're going to end it out there in Sirach 25-26. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go, man. Just let her go. If they just let them go, this could have saved them a lot of heartache and pain. Just let them go. It's just not worth it. Just not worth it. There's more women than men out there, so you can have found you somebody else, or just live alone and just do your do, because it's not worth ruining your life for these women. But that's all I had to say on that. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai. Shalom.